France, the land of romance and prosperity, draws millions of visitors each year. But behind the glittering lights of Paris lies a side of the city of light that many overlook. From towering piles of trash that surpass even the Eiffel Tower in height, to the homeless on every corner, where scams and petty theft lurk in the shadows. Are the French truly living the romantic life we've been led to believe? Or is there more to France than meets the eye? Let's uncover the untold truths in today's travel documentary, starting right now. France. The name conjures images of romantic cafes, charming villages, and the Eiffel Tower piercing a perfect Parisian sky. These iconic images are what most people think of when they hear the word France. But what about the other side of France, the one less seen on postcards, the side that doesn't make it into the glossy travel brochures or Instagram feeds? Behind the facade of ooh la la lies a country grappling with real issues, from poverty to social unrest. These are the stories that often go untold, hidden behind the allure of the Eiffel Tower and the charm of the countryside. Join us as we journey beyond the tourist traps and uncover the complex realities of living in France today. We'll explore the crowded streets filled with tourists, but also venture into the quieter, less glamorous corners where the true essence of France resides. This isn't about shattering your French fantasies, it's about adding depth to them. It's about understanding that every country has its struggles and that these struggles are part of what makes it unique. It's about fostering a deeper understanding. By learning about the challenges France faces, we can appreciate its culture and achievements even more. France, like any nation, is a tapestry woven with both beauty and flaws. The picturesque landscapes and charming villages are just one part of the story. The deteriorating urban areas and social issues are another. By acknowledging its struggles, we can appreciate its triumphs all the more. France has a rich history of innovation and cultural achievements that have shaped the world. Recognizing the full picture allows us to celebrate these accomplishments with a more informed perspective. So let's swap our rose-colored glasses for a clearer lens and explore the France beyond the clichés. Let's look at the country with open eyes and an open heart, ready to understand and appreciate all its facets. This journey will not only enrich our knowledge, but also deepen our connection to this beautiful, complex nation. The digital age has arrived in France, but not everyone is riding the wave equally. In bustling urban centers like Paris, Lyon, and Marseille, the digital revolution is in full swing. People are seamlessly connected, enjoying the benefits of high-speed internet and advanced technology. However, the story is quite different in the rural heartlands of France. While major cities enjoy lightning-fast 5G, many rural areas are stuck in the slow lane. In cities, you can see people effortlessly streaming videos, attending virtual meetings, and using smart devices. But in the countryside, residents often struggle to get a stable signal on their phones, let alone enjoy the perks of 5G. Imagine wanting to start an online business in a picturesque Provençal village, only to be hampered by sluggish internet speeds. Entrepreneurs in rural areas face significant challenges, from slow loading times to frequent disconnections, making it nearly impossible to compete in the digital marketplace. This digital divide isn't just an inconvenience, it's an economic and social barrier. It affects everything from business opportunities to social interactions. Rural residents find themselves isolated, unable to participate fully in the digital economy or connect with friends and family as easily as their urban counterparts. The statistics paint a stark picture. Data shows a significant disparity in internet coverage between urban and rural areas, highlighting the urgent need for infrastructure improvements in the countryside. Urban areas boast 22% 5G availability, compared to a paltry 13.5% in rural zones. This gap underscores the uneven distribution of technological advancements, leaving rural communities at a distinct disadvantage. This gap has real-world consequences, limiting access to education, employment, and even healthcare. Students in rural areas struggle with online learning due to poor internet connections, while urban students benefit from a wealth of digital resources. Similarly, telehealth services, which have become crucial during the pandemic, are far less accessible to rural residents. While the government has launched initiatives to bridge the digital chasm, the reality for many in rural France is a frustrating lag behind the connected world. Efforts are being made to improve infrastructure and expand 5G coverage, but progress is slow. For now, the digital divide remains a significant challenge, affecting the quality of life and opportunities for those living in rural areas. France prides itself on liberté, égalité, fraternité, but the reality for some doesn't always live up to the motto. Discrimination persists, particularly against minorities, immigrants, and women. Despite the nation's progressive ideals, many individuals still face systemic barriers that prevent them from fully participating in society. Imagine being denied a job because of your religion or ethnicity. This is a harsh reality for many who find themselves judged not by their skills or qualifications but by their background or appearance. The job market, which should be a place of opportunity, often becomes a battleground of prejudice, or facing a constant barrage of microaggressions. These subtle, often unintentional acts of discrimination can erode a person's sense of belonging and self-worth over time. Whether it's a dismissive comment, an exclusion from a conversation, or an assumption based on stereotypes, microaggressions contribute to a hostile environment. This isn't the France of liberté and égalité. The gap between the nation's ideals and the lived experiences of many of its residents is stark and troubling. The promise of equality remains unfulfilled for too many. Human trafficking, particularly in the sex trade and domestic labor, casts a dark shadow over the nation. Vulnerable individuals, often from marginalized communities, are exploited and abused, their freedoms stripped away. This modern-day slavery is a grave violation of human rights and a blight on the nation's conscience. The rise of far-right groups has further fueled societal tensions, creating an atmosphere of fear and distrust. These groups often target minorities and immigrants, spreading messages of hate and division. Their influence can lead to increased violence and discrimination, making it even harder for marginalized communities to feel safe and accepted. France, like many nations, is grappling with how to uphold its values of tolerance and equality in the face of these challenges. The path forward requires a collective effort to address these issues head-on, fostering a society where everyone, regardless of their background, can thrive. It is a call to action for all citizens to stand up against discrimination and work towards a more inclusive and just future. The romantic image of France often overlooks a harsh reality. Life here can be expensive. While Paris may be a playground for the wealthy, many ordinary citizens struggle to make ends meet. Imagine being a young couple trying to buy their first apartment in Paris only to be priced out of the market. This is the reality for many. The cost of living, particularly in urban centers, continues to rise while wages stagnate. This economic squeeze has left many feeling disillusioned and struggling to maintain their quality of life. The French welfare system provides a safety net, but it's stretched thin, leaving some vulnerable citizens falling through the cracks. Section 5. Forgotten France. The rural-urban divide. Beyond the bright lights of Paris lies a France often overlooked, the rural heartland. Here, life moves at a different pace, but it's not without its challenges. Imagine a farmer struggling to keep his land afloat amidst rising costs and changing environmental regulations. This is the reality for many in rural France. The urban-rural divide in France isn't just geographical, it's economic, social, and political. Rural communities often feel forgotten by the government, their concerns dismissed as unimportant. This sense of disconnect has fueled resentment and a growing sense that the French countryside is being left behind. Section 6. Human Rights Under Scrutiny. France has a long and proud history as a champion of human rights, yet today, that reputation is being tested. Concerns have been raised about police brutality, particularly against protesters and marginalized communities. Imagine being peacefully demonstrating for your rights only to be met with excessive force. This is the reality for some in France. The treatment of migrants and asylum seekers has also drawn criticism, with reports of inhumane conditions in detention centers. While France has made strides in combating discrimination, systemic racism and Islamophobia persist. The fight for true equality and justice continues. Section 7. The Olympics shadow image versus reality. Paris, the City of Lights, is set to host the 2024 Olympics, a moment of national pride. But behind the fanfare lies a darker side. In an effort to present a sanitized image to the world, authorities have taken controversial measures, including relocating homeless individuals from the city center. Imagine being homeless, only to be shuffled out of sight to make way for a global sporting event. This out-of-sight, out-of-mind approach has sparked outrage, exposing the stark disparity between France's projected image and the reality of its most vulnerable citizens. Section 8. France, a deeper look. As we conclude our journey through the lesser-known sides of France, it's important to remember that this is not a condemnation, but a call for understanding. France, like any nation, is a work in progress, grappling with complex social, economic, and political challenges. By acknowledging these realities, we can engage with France on a deeper level, appreciating its complexities and contradictions. So when you plan your next trip to France, remember to pack your curiosity and your empathy and embark on a journey that goes beyond the surface.